Um, Gosh, you guys should know some of this. Let me give you a little test. What were the native mammals in Hawaii? There are four. The monk seal, very good. Did I hear something else? The bat, that's very good. That's one most people don't get. Okay? You got two. You got the monk seal, you got the bat, you got two more. Think monk seal. She's in the right. Whale and dolphin. Absolutely. So you only have one terrestrial mammal there, okay? This was a toothless ecosystem. Think about that. You know, until the Polynesians introduced the rat and the dog and the pig, we didn't have any toothed mammals here, okay? One reason why we picked this particular site to excavate is that Stores Olson, our bird expert, walked around and he did his thing and he says, right here, because the owl's going to be sitting there and dropping the owl pellets down, and it's a good place to find the birds. And he was right. Any of you guys analyze owl pellets when you were kids, you know, order them from Carolina Biological? It's really so much fun. Okay. So, birds are what it's all about. We have about 45 species of birds that we found here, fossil bird bones. I say about because every time we dig intensively, that number goes up, okay? About half of those are now extinct, at least on this island. There are a couple of birds that still exist on other islands. You guys were just on the Big Island, right? You saw Hawaiian hawks all over the place, right? Sometimes I think there's one for every telephone pole. It's just amazing. The Laysan teal still is on Laysan. Very, very threatened because I think the highest elevation of Laysan is something like 8 feet or something like that. So it would take just one big storm to knock them out. So they are being introduced on some other islands as a way of saving them. And the Nahoa finch is still on Nahoa. So we got 3 that still exist on other islands, even though not here. And we have evidence that they were here. So we're hoping sometime in the future, given that we could prove that we could protect the birds enough from things like avian malaria and avian pox for the Nahoa finch, from predators with a predator-proof fence, for the teal, that we could reintroduce them. The hawk is a little dicey. As much as we would like to, there's some people saying, oh, but yeah, it would eat what native birds we've got left. Personally, I think it would be worth a try. Places since we don't have any native birds at this elevation. At least 7 of the birds that we found were unknown to science before Stores Olson and Helen James discovered them here and described them. I say at least 7, they're still describing some of the bones. It takes a lot of skeletal material, it takes a lot of time. Paleoornithologists work at a very slow pace, but that also keeps going up as we find more. The real story, Mary, let's do hand me the box if you will. Let's do that right here because the real story with the birds are the moanalas. Have you guys heard about the moanalas? Talked about that? Moanala is just a made-up Hawaiian word. Moanala, it literally just means lost fowl, lost bird. It's a made-up term by Stores Olson to describe a whole class of birds. And what I'm talking about here is tens of thousands of years ago. We know from our fossil DNA analysis, mallard duck arrived here, a Canada goose. Okay? What happens if you're a bird, a Canada duck, a mallard duck, you arrive on an island with an unlimited source of food, and remember there was no predators except that owl, so he's only going to prey on the young. So what happens if you arrive on this large oceanic island? Unlimited supply of food and no predators. What's going to happen? The population is going to explode. Okay, that's good. Just some more things. What else? You stay. Okay, that's a good one. Okay, come on. There's some. Maybe.
Get big and fat.
You get big big and fat. You've got an unlimited supply of food. You've got no predators. So you got plenty to eat. You've got nothing to run away from. Okay, no predators. Let's go with no predators before. What happens to you if you don't have anything to run away from and you're a bird? You stop flying. You're not going to burn those calories by doing something you don't need to do. No need to escape anything, so you stop flying. What happens once you lose your ability to fly? Pardon?
And predators get introduced in your marble.
Absolutely, absolutely. This is later, but what happens before that? You start losing your wings, right? You just get little vestigial wings, okay? You don't need to swim anymore to get away from anything, so you lose those webbed feet. So they actually get regular bird feet instead of duck or goose feet. Okay, so you're getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and you don't fly anymore, and you don't swim anymore. So what happens? Originally you had these on all the islands, but now they're not going back and forth between all the islands anymore. So what happens? Very good. So each sort of series of islands sort of develop their own. Okay? We've got some pictures back here. You can see them. Let's talk about how big these guys were, though. How about you? You've got a nice small foot. You can be my victim. You know, in humans, we have a whole bunch of bones that make our foot, 26, 27, something like that. I always get corrected no matter what I say, so I'm going to say about it. Birds fuse all those bones into one major foot bone. This is foot bone of one of these small animals. I'm going to put it right there. Bend over like this. Go quack, quack. She can do it. So isn't that just that's incredible. That's as big as her foot. These guys maybe weighed 60 pounds. Same bone of a big rooster. So pass those around and just think about that. Very good. Thank you. Thank you.
It'd be a nice Thanksgiving.
It would be a nice Thanksgiving. Speaking of which, what would have happened when the Polynesians arrived?
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving.
Every day.
Yeah. They had not seen humans before. They didn't have predators. They did not know to be scared. These Polynesians had just arrived on their double hull canoes. They probably not eaten much protein except fish for, you know, a long time. They would have been hungry. It's not to say that they weren't good environmentalists. You know, it's just to say that they were survivalists, and this was here for the taking. There is almost no overlap between Polynesian arrival and these bird bones. I have been searching for years, and they don't find here. Do you know of any Hawaiian legends or oral history or anything that talk about these birds?
They don't appear in the Kumulika,
I don't think so either. I don't think so. I think they disappeared so fast that they didn't make it in. I really do. And like I said, that's not to say that the Hawaiians were bad people. They were just humans, like any other humans arriving on a large landmass. We see humans arrive, the mesofauna and the megafauna go extinct. The island of Rodrigues in the Indian Ocean was discovered by humans in 1691. I don't mean there were people there before then. I mean the French and the Dutch discovered it in 1691, and it had always been uninhabited. Rodrigues is east of Mauritius. You guys know where Mauritius is in the Indian Ocean. Mauritius is east of Madagascar. Madagascar is east of the East African coast. So we're talking way off. Not that far from other islands, but the currents just don't go the right way for humans to discover it. The French and the Dutch got there in 1691, and in about 50 years, they had wiped out the interesting fauna there. There was a pink pigeon that was much more cool than dodo. I think Mauritius would think dodo. Pink pigeon, you know, it was like this big. And we know that they did it because being the French and the Dutch, they very meticulously wrote down how many they killed today and how many they killed yesterday. And oh my God, there's not any more.